Australia's business channel. This is Media Week.
Hello, welcome to the program. Ahead, Perpetual reportedly sells its entire stake in Ten. So who's bought the shares? All the radio ratings and the shake-up at production house Shine. But first, Consolidated Media shareholders have voted in favour of the News Limited takeover this week. That means that News now owns 100% of Fox Sports and shares ownership of Foxtel 50-50 with Telstra. It also means that James Packer has effectively ended his family's historic ties to media in Australia, just left with a passive stake in Ten. And he made that shift in direction for his business clear this week at a tourism conference.
2012 has been a transformational year for our business. By the end of this year, our company's interests will have moved almost entirely out of the media and into the tourism industry. It's been a long journey, but for me a necessary one. It's fascinated me that recently many commentators keep speculating that I might buy back into Channel 9. It says to me that they've totally misunderstood what I'm trying to achieve with Crown and why I'm shifting into an industry I believe has a very positive future. My family's been involved in the media game since 1918. The media's in my blood, and I didn't make the move to leave that industry lightly. But when I look at the business opportunities over the coming decade, I see Australian tourism as one of the industries that will benefit most from the booming middle class in China and across Asia.
Well, let's get some more analysis on what is a big week for the subscription TV sector. We're joined by our co-host, James Manning, editor and publisher of Media Week. Righty. Good to see you, James. Now, we've talked a lot about this, but interesting to hear James Packer actually come out and confirm, look, he's out of media for good, apart from that passive stake in Ten.
Yeah, it was good to hear that, wasn't it? We've always said it on the show. I mean, he doesn't talk a lot of media. Well, he's talked a lot recently, because I guess he's got a much higher profile with his casino business in Sydney, what he wants to achieve here. But the little he's talked about media in the past, it has always been on what he confirmed this week. Look, no, he doesn't want to do it anymore. He's got too many friends in the business. He doesn't like competing against them. So he's out.
Where to now for Foxtel, obviously, with this simplified ownership structure shared by News and Telstra there. Interesting to hear the strategy this week, wasn't it? Brian Walsh speaking at an Astra conference or breakfast certainly in Canberra about the targets the company has for growing.
Yeah, it came out and said, look, you know, we are after our 50% penetration, you know, jumping up from where are they now, 30s, low 30s, mid 30s, depending on who you talk to. But that's a significant rise. He talked a little bit about, you know, how they might get there too.
All right, let's hear it.
You know, when I project forward 5 years, clearly the commercial ambition for the company is to grow our penetration to 50%, but equally we're very focused on being at the forefront of technology and innovation, and that's something Foxtel's always prided itself on. And I think the invention of the iQ certainly was a game changer. We now have that in over 80% of our homes, and that really, to Penny's point, liberates television viewing for Australians to choose what they want to watch when they want to watch it.
And more from Brian Walsh in a moment, but just interesting too, Telstra's CEO David Thodey speaking this week too about how he supports the Foxtel strategy, particularly the triple play.
Yeah, and it's one of the things they can do, you know. There's certain things they can't get, but controlling what they can offer the customer in terms of add-ons to the existing service.
Here's what David Thodey had to say.
First of all, it's Foxtel's decision. There is nothing in the relationship between Telstra and Foxtel that prevents them from reselling or telecommunication services. Already Foxtel today is a dealer for fixed broadband services. Nothing in the contract prevents that. Richard Freudenstein has already announced that they plan to enter into what is called the triple play, and they're going through a process at the moment, and they will make their decision based on the economics of that business case. Foxtel are free to make whatever decision they believe is in the best interest of shareholders, and that's what they're free to do.
Interesting to hear that. Is that what's needed to drive up subscriber numbers, this triple play offering, or is it more about sport?
Well, they can't, because they can't get a lot of sport here because of the, you know, anti-siphoning. So you've got to, what else can you offer? There's exclusive non-sporting content, which they're all over, and that's what we'll hear a little bit about in a minute. But then it's the additional things like the telephony, the broadband, package it all up, give the subscriber a discount. I mean, I currently get my Foxtel, I think it's on my Telstra account, but I'm not really getting a discount, I don't think. I think it's just conveniently putting it all on one account. So I think they want to take that a step further, I think, and saying, okay, if you subscribe to these, we'll offer you a package. Might necessarily be with Telstra, but I'm guessing it probably will be. But, you know, it's another reason to subscribe to Foxtel.
Now, Astra held an event in Canberra this week. What was it all about?
About just significantly getting out their message, how much they spend on local content. It's something like 600 million a year, up 13% on last year. So they're a massive investor in the sector. 6,000 people employed directly in the subscription TV industry in Australia. So just getting that message out to politicians, you know. A lot of them, it was a big week in Canberra. A lot of Greg Hywood was down there. James Packer was down there. SBS are down there all the time lobbying, so media people wear a path down to Canberra, and Foxtel wants to be there too, getting their message out.
And interesting, you spoke to Brian Walsh, the Foxtel Executive Director of Television and Marketing. Here's that interview.
Brian Walsh, good to get you on the show. I've had to come to Canberra to track you down. You're not spending much time at home these days.
It's been a hectic year, lots going on. Yeah, no, it's been a terrific year for Foxtel, I think. So many landmark events that have happened for the company. You know, the Olympics in London, which was big for us, acquisition of Ozstar. So we've had a bit on our plate.
Not long in the year to go, but you've got a few things to unveil too. You were a few guarded hints this morning about your was it Foxtel Go, which is shortly to be released. You've got a bit of a demo on here this morning for some of the interested parliamentarians.
Yeah, we've taken a different approach this year to the showcasing of our content and our technology for the forthcoming season. I know the commercial networks are doing upfronts. We've gone a different route. We're doing what we call home fronts. We've taken a penthouse in the inner city of Melbourne. We've taken out a beach house in Tamarama in Sydney, and we're getting advertisers in to look at the different ways that people can experience Foxtel, be it on the T-Box, the Xbox, and of course the new Foxtel Go. And we'll be sprinkling our announcements about our new content over the course of the next coming months, and we will unveil our 2013 year right at the beginning of the year in terms of a formal event. But I think for us, you know, we always pride ourselves on being at the forefront of technology, and Foxtel Go is another step in that direction.
We're here in Canberra talking about the investment in local programming. You see that as a real opportunity to help get your penetration levels up. That'll be something you'll be really flying the flag for?
I think so, but I think with Foxtel it's always been that fusion of content and technology that has been the hallmarks of our success. We're very big investors in Australian content, as you mentioned, and we will continue to do that across a number of genres. Clearly drama is a big focus for us going forward. We do a lot in the children's area, in the documentaries area, of course sport, but you'll see definitely an uptick in our investment in scripted programming in 2013.
The Foxtel Go product, I believe, is going to be like an app which can run on tablets. Can you give us any sort of hints there? We've sort of reported something like maybe 21 channels. We think Sky News and the Sky News Business Channel are going to be on there live, and there'll be a mix of live and sort of catch up.
Yep, it'll be a mix of live and catch up. We launch the end of next week with those 20 channels, and it'll be the channels will be streamed live, and as you say, it'll be primarily catch up with a view to rolling out up to 50 channels by February, March, and of course sport will be a big part of that when we launch that component of Foxtel Go. I have to say, I think it's a game changer for us. I think it's a real game changer for Foxtel in the same way that the iQ revolutionised the way people enjoyed television. I think Foxtel Go will liberate the way and the where people will watch and enjoy their entertainment. I mean, it's just, the picture quality is incredible. It'll launch initially on iPads, and then we'll roll out to other tablets early next year. But to have that ability just to take Foxtel with you, I think is going to be awesome for us.
And you mentioned in one of your comments to the sort of guests here in Parliament House this morning about a sport offering perhaps in February or March. So there'll be some exclusive rights there you might be getting for mobile?
Yeah, we'll be announcing that in due course. It's a little premature to announce that now, but you know, clearly for us, if we're going to have a product like Foxtel Go, sport has to be a very important component part of that.
There's some new commissions around the corner, some announcements about Australian dramas. Penny Chapman mentioned 2 series perhaps that she's working on with you guys.
Yes, that was unexpected. We have commissioned Matchbox to deliver 2 major drama productions for us. One which we have already flagged, which has come to us via Sam Worthington, who has a company called Full Clip, and they have an affiliation with Penny Chapman's company. So Full Clip and Matchbox are jointly going to produce for us our Gallipoli project, which will go to air in 2015, and it'll be a very different take on the Gallipoli chapter, in that it will look at the war effort from the perspective of the journalists who covered Gallipoli. It'll be a glossy, big-budget Australian drama series with some pretty extraordinary names attached, I have to say.
And you're spending a few of those investment dollars with Fremantle Media Australia on Wentworth, which is in production, I guess. Got an update on that, and the perennial question, what's happening with Australia's Next Top Model?
Let me start with Wentworth. I was on set last week, James, and it's very impressive, I have to say. Jo Porter, who came across to Fremantle from the 7 network, has brought with her not just a great pedigree, but I think some terrific ideas on how we can reimagine that iconic drama series Prisoner in a story that's told in a very contemporary fashion. This charters the rise of B, the character from the original Prisoner, but it's a very confronting drama. It's the sort of treatment you'd expect to get on subscription television. It doesn't pull any punches. It'll be very confronting. It's going to be very tough. And I'm very excited by it. It's got a wonderful celebrated cast, and we'll have that on air in February, March of next year. And Australia's Next Top Model, I am pleased to announce that we have commissioned Series 8 of the show, and we'll be announcing the host and the lineup of judges and so on in 2 weeks.
Oh, right, very interesting there. Now, of course, all the producers, the production company bosses were there as well, and you chatted to Des Monahan from Scream Time.
Yeah, best known for the Underbelly series, of course, but they've done a whole range of stuff, including some sort of really, big shows for subscription TV, and I think he's probably got a new commission that'll be announced shortly too.
Let's have a listen.